I can still barely believe that Roberto De Zerbi only arrived at our club less than 60 days ago on the 31st of March, by which point we were literally dead and buried. But over the course of less than 2 months, he managed to win a priceless 11 points from his 7 games in charge from a team that had only won 4 points from their previous 12 games. But you know what surprised me the most? From the squad of players that he inherited, most of whom by the time he got there looked like they had never kicked a ball before, he's already managed to fashion the solid spine of a team which I believe can be successful in the Premier League next year. I believe that there are already 5 key players in our squad who possess the necessary qualities to form the spine of a successful team. I'll get to who those 5 players are very shortly, but first there's 2 things that I need to address. However, if you want to skip ahead to that section of the video, there's timestamps in the description below. The first thing I want to do is say thank you to you guys, the ones who have been on this journey with me, who have subscribed to the channel, who have contributed in the comments, and who have given me great comfort over the last couple of testing months. When De Zerbi was appointed on the 31st of March, the general narrative in the media, from other Spurs fans, from creators, even from ex-players, was that he was the wrong man for the job. And when I put this video out arguing to the contrary, all I thought I was going to get was dog's abuse. But I was absolutely overwhelmed by the positivity that you guys gave me, and in the face of mockery, in the face of derision, we all stayed positive, we all believed, and we got our reward at the end. The thing I love most about doing this channel is talking with you guys in the comments and interacting with you. Not only do you talk a lot of sense, but you also bring a lot of fun, you keep me happy, you keep me entertained, you know who you are, and I just want to say again, thank you very much. And secondly, I just want to give our manager, Roberto De Zerbi, a tribute. We'll always love him for what he'd done for the club this season, and it sounds like he loves us too.
Did you feel the love from the fans at the end, when you have that moment on the pitch and they're all singing? Did you feel that connection?
By the beginning, I felt the connection with the players, with the club, but also with the fans. No, they need passionate people, and they need maybe people who believe to stay up.
Like I mentioned a second ago, the general narrative when he was appointed was that he was a disciplinarian, a mercenary just coming to take the money, and an overly tactical coach that wouldn't be able to implement his ideas in time to save us. But you know what? He turned out to be the complete opposite. A highly intelligent coach who adapted his methods to suit the situation. A masterful man-manager who could drag the best out of a group of players whose confidence was absolutely through the floor. And most importantly of all, a man with pride, with passion, and a steely determination to do the best he could for our football club. And to emphasise the point even further, let's first hear from the man himself and then from our number 10, Madders, James Maddison.
You said at the beginning you had to limit your messaging in terms of the things that players would take on board. Are you excited to share your philosophy and what you want to bring to this team on the training field with more time?
Yes, but at the end I think I gave a lot of details and ideas. No, I was not so strong because I thought maybe to go too strong is like lose the energy, no? Because you can win the game with the style, but first of all you need the spirit, the attitude, the behavior, and the next season I'm ready to go stronger.
So how has the manager impressed you? Because you've mentioned it a few times that he steered the ship. What is it that he's done specifically?
He's the last one. Yeah.
You said it so many times, you know.
Yeah. Because he's so passionate. He believes. He's been living at the training ground with the guys, with his team. I go and stay at the training ground the night before every home game, and I turn up just to get a good night's sleep. I've got too many kids, and I found risks not getting a good night's sleep. He's there at 9 p.m. with all his staff. They've got like the tactics board out. There's like 6 of them. They're just talking. It's 9 p.m. You know, and we've already had 4 or 5 meetings on each game and stuff. He's just obsessed with football and he's passionate. And when you feel the authenticity of someone who's passionate for Tottenham, because I am. I love this club and I want this club to be successful so bad. And when you see the man who's steering the ship, when he's genuinely, and not just saying it for the sake of it, and motivational meeting, you can tell he means it. That's why he says, like, I have blood inside me, not water. You know, he always says that. It's because he's genuinely passionate about the club. And without that appointment, disaster could have maybe struck, but it didn't. And he takes a lot of credit for that because of the work he's done behind the scenes training pitch.
In the 12 games before he arrived under the beta-male Thomas Frank and Igor Tudor, we had 0 wins, 4 draws, 8 defeats, scored 13 goals and conceded 28. But through De Zerbi's 7 games, we got 3 wins, 2 draws and 2 defeats, earning us the 11 points that kept us in the Premier League. And all I want to say is, Roberto, we love you, we adore you, we salute you. As for the 5 key players who I believe can form the spine of our team going forward next year, I basically thought of all the different components that forms a great team. And it doesn't just come down to ability, although you need plenty of that, but also to leadership, camaraderie, setting standards not only on match days but in the dressing room and on the training ground, and players that take responsibility and lead by example. All 5 of these players possess at least some of these qualities, and De Zerbi emphasises that point here.
But I'm sure we have not to change too many players, and it's not right. It's not right because we are lucky to have a lot of good players, a lot of good guys, but I think we have to complete the squad in the best way, with first level of players, with the right behavior of the players, because now the qualities of the players are important, but more important is the spirit, the mentality of these players.
And there's absolutely no doubt that the first piece of the puzzle is having a great goalkeeper. And I think we'll all agree we already have one. Antonin Kinski. I've covered this before many times on my channel, but I've just got to say it again. To come back from that adversity, from those 17 minutes in Atletico Madrid, in a Champions League game with the eyes of the world on you, to come back and produce the kind of form that he produced in the last 7 games was nothing short of miraculous. It's a testament to his ability, a testament to his courage, and a testament to being able to overcome massive adversity. He plays like a cultured defensive midfielder with his feet. His handling and his shot stopping is impeccable. He deals really well with the high ball that's put right on top of him, and he punches really well from corners. And the great thing about it is that he's only going to get better and better. There's a couple of areas where I think he can improve. I think he needs to time coming off his line a bit better. He's been a bit sloppy with that in a couple of games, but that will come with experience. Other than that, I'll say it again, he's already one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League. And the save against Leeds in our 3rd from last game of the season, if that's not voted as save of the season, then there's something fucking wrong. Not many goalkeepers in the world have the reflexes, the concentration and the awareness to make that save. And without that crucial stop, going into those last 2 games against Chelsea and Everton would have been even more nerve-wracking than it already was. The second part to any great spine of a great team is having a defensively solid, quality centre-back pairing. And so players number 2 and number 3 is Kevin Danso, Super Kev and Mickey van der Ven. Starting with Van der Ven. When he first joined the club, he was an absolute sensation. Everybody loved him. Everyone was talking about him being good enough to be able to play for Barcelona, Real Madrid, any of the massive super clubs. He was injured for large parts of last season, and then under Thomas Frank and Igor Tudor, his form just dropped off a cliff. It even got to the point where his own fans and ex-players and pundits were questioning whether he was really as good as everyone said he was. But again, I think it's a testament to De Zerbi that he dragged the absolute best out of him in those last 7 games, gave him the captain's armband, and he became a true leader and showed that he was just as good as we initially thought he was. He's a quality centre-back, he's quick, he's strong, he's athletic, he's comfortable taking the ball, he's aggressive, he always looks to pass forward, he's a top player. And as for Super Kevin Danso, my word, this guy is everything that Christian Romero wishes he could be. I was always of the opinion that out of the 2, Romero was the better ability-wise and that his overall game was better. But you know what? Super Kev has proved me absolutely wrong. Like Van der Ven, he's quick, he's strong, he's athletic, his defensive positioning is absolutely brilliant. He wins every single header that comes his way. Again, like Van der Ven, he's comfortable taking the ball, he's aggressive, he always looks to move it quickly and move it forward. And as a defensive pair, they are absolutely superb. And I'm going to make a huge statement here, and I don't know if you guys agree with me, let me know. If you offered me Mark Gahey in a swap deal with Super Kevin Danso today, I ain't taking it. And the reason is that although there's no doubt that Gahey is probably the best footballing centre-back in the Premier League, when it comes to defensive ability, defensive quality, strength, speed, positioning, strength in the air, he can't lace Danzo's boots. And already you can see the spine of the team coming together. A brilliant goalkeeper, 2 brilliant centre-backs. The third part of the spine of any great team are midfield players who have got drive, determination, leadership, who give 100% and can raise the performance of the players around them. Now, this is probably going to be a controversial choice because in terms of ability, these two players are not the best midfield players in the world. But I think they both proved over the course of De Zerbi's 7 games that they deserve to be mainstays of our team. And so players 4 and 5 are João Palhinha and Conor Gallagher. Now let's start with João Palhinha. I mean, obviously he's not our player yet, but he's indicated he wants to stay at the club. De Zerbi has indicated he wants to keep him. And if the Bulls stick to their word to give the manager what he needs, then that signing should be very simple. And similar to Van der Ven, over the course of the season, he started off really brightly under Thomas Frank, gave a couple of really good performances, and then his form just seemed to drop off a cliff. He had to fill in at centre-back on multiple occasions, which probably knocked his confidence even more. And for a player of limited ability, he probably started to question himself and whether he was actually good enough to play in this team. I think he demonstrated, not just over De Zerbi's 7 games, but at points in the season, that he's got real passion. He's got standards. He wants to raise the game of everyone around him. He's serious about winning football matches. And let's face it, without those couple of goals that he scored in the run-in, one against Wolves and then one against Everton, we might be looking at the Championship next season. Like I say, and let me know what you guys think, it might be a controversial choice because ideally the best defensive midfielders in the Premier League not only are solid, can tackle, can cover the ground, but can also play a bit, pass nicely, go on runs, beat players. Now, João Palhinha can't really do any of that. Yes, he's a brilliant tackler. He covers the ground like nobody else. He's a great athlete. In terms of his ability and his passing, it's very safe. It's very measured. You know what? With that passion, with that drive, with that determination, keeping the standards high, not just on match day, but in training, in the dressing room, he's a player that every team needs. And the greatest tribute that I can pay to him is that before the Everton game, he was left out of the Portugal World Cup squad, okay? Now, I believe he's 31, and so that's likely going to be his last opportunity to ever play at a World Cup. When we played against Chelsea a couple of weeks ago, João Pedro was left out of the Chelsea squad because his mentality and his head wasn't in the right place after being left out of Brazil's World Cup squad. And so for Palhinha, after what just happened to him in the week, to go and give that performance against Everton, give the winning goal, is a true testament to his dedication. And you could see it in his goal celebration. The guy was nearly in tears. He loves this club. He's taken the fans to his heart. We need him in the team. And lastly, probably the most controversial of all, Conor Gallagher. And I must admit, me, like many other Tottenham fans, I think most of us, when he arrived in January, we were like, why? I felt that he was just much of a muchness, just a more experienced version of Lucas Bergvall, someone that's going to give you energy, going to run around a bit, try and tackle, but with no massive quality. And you might not be surprised to know that my opinion about his ability as a midfielder hasn't really changed. His first touch is often a bit clumsy. He hasn't got the ability to control the tempo and the pace of a game. He's not a great passer of the ball. But just like João Palhinha, what he does have is passion, drive, determination, a real willingness to try and affect games. He pops up with the odd goal. He leads the press and makes a nuisance of himself. You know, the amount of tackles and interceptions that he put in against Everton on Sunday was absolutely incredible. You know that he's always going to give you 100%. And by all accounts, he sounds like a good lad as well, a good person to have around the place. Not only on the pitch, but in the dressing room and at the training ground. And the mad thing about it is that when James Maddison is fit, he probably doesn't get into the team. But I always look at the example of players like Jordan Henderson in that great Liverpool team. Yes, Henderson in terms of ability is a better player than Palhinha and Conor Gallagher, but not by much. But his greatest qualities and his greatest attributes are his leadership, his dedication, his passion, his willingness to put a foot in and win some tackles. He's vocal on the pitch. He drives standards. You need players like that at every successful club. So they're the 5 players that I believe can form part of the spine of a successful team going forward. And the next 2 ingredients that you need are obviously a flair player, a quality number 10. Now, we might already have 2 of those in Xavi Simons and James Maddison, but they've both had ACLs. We need to see how they come back. But if they come back to anywhere near their full quality and ability, then we've got 2 real superstars there. And the final piece of the jigsaw is a reliable 20-goal-a-season striker. Now, we definitely haven't got one of those, but that's something we're going to have to address in the summer. Now, I can already feel you guys screaming at the screen, Matisse Tell. And you know what? I did consider putting him in as like the 6th key player in the squad. And yes, I love the passion that he brings. I love the energy that he gives. I think he's got quality. I think he proved that over De Zerbi's final 7 games. But what I will say is that he's still a very young player. I think there's still a lot more to come from him. He needs to improve physically, bulk up a little bit. And if I'm being very honest, I'd still like to bring in a top quality, experienced left winger in the summer. And then I think between Tell, the new left winger, Kudus and hopefully Kulusevski, we've got 4 really strong wingers that will drive each other's standards, push each other to be the best they can be, and at that point, Tell will become a key part of the squad. The other player I thought about including was Pedro Porro, because I think over De Zerbi's 7 games, I think he's been absolutely brilliant. We've always known that he's a very talented player, but the thing that I don't like about him and that he needs to cut out of his game is that he's too emotional. He gets a lot of silly yellow cards for arguing with people, linesmen, referees. He goes down clutching his face all the time, and actually a brilliant moment on Sunday against Everton was when he tried that tactic. He got a little finger in the face, he went down clutching his boat on the floor, wriggling around, and De Zerbi literally came out of the technical area, told him to get up and go and defend, which he did to his credit. If he becomes a bit cooler, ice cold, a bit more focused on his game, cuts out all the silliness, he can be a real asset to the team. And you know what? Now that I've had a chance to look at the squad with a clear head and a clear mind, if you look around, there's quality already there. Jed Spence is decent. Destiny Udogi's decent. Rodrigo Bentancur always makes a big difference when he plays. He's a Rolls Royce of a midfielder, but he has injury problems. Mohamed Kudus will be returning next season. Hopefully Kulusevski as well. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of surgery to be done on that squad, a lot of deadwood to cut away. But I don't think that we need to panic too much. My next video is going to focus very much on transfer targets, very much what we need to do with the squad over the summer. And by the time the new season kicks off in August, with our incredible manager in place and our new revitalised squad, with that strong spine of the team, I'm convinced we're going to have a brilliant season next year. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Sorry this video took so long, and I will see you on the next one. Come on, you Spurs.